Hello everyone, my name is Jade Bittenbender, and today I'm going to be making challah bread for you. So challah bread's origin could quite possibly be Israel because it is a Jewish dish, but I read online that the name actually started in South Germany when the Jewish people adopted the bread for the Sabbath, which occurred in South Germany. So, yeah, the bread was adopted to be eaten on the Sabbath and other holidays, and the term was coined in the Middle Ages. So the term actually comes from the biblical commandment of hafreshat challah, which means separating the challah for the Kohen or priest. So I actually have a passage from the Bible where it actually comes from. So this is the first appearance of the word challah appears in the Bible, Numbers 15:18 through 21, as follows. When you enter the land where I bring you, it shall be that when you eat of the bread of the land, you shall set aside a portion for God. Of the first your dough you shall set aside a loaf as an offering, as the offering of the threshing floor. So you shall set it aside. From the first of your dough you shall give to God an offering throughout your generations. Okay, so that's like a little history of challah, and now I'm going to list the raw ingredients of challah. So first we have active dry yeast, which I have right here. We have granulated sugar, which I have right here. Lukewarm water, which is right here. Olive oil. Eggs, which I needed 5 eggs, so I have 3 here, and then the other one's over here. Table salt, which is right here, and all-purpose flour, which is right here. This is actually self-rising enriched flour, but this was the smallest I could find in the store, so it'll be fine. So next, okay, so the substrates or starting materials are all these ingredients. And I'll be back to mix them all together, and I'll get them ready right now, but in the meantime, I'll be right back. So I'm going to start by mixing my water, my yeast, and my some sugar together. So I'm supposed to put a packet and a half of this awesome yeast in with lukewarm water, which is a cup and 3/4 of a cup of it. So I put the water in first. It just got everywhere, but that is okay. Let me cut open the yeast. So you can tell I'm a professional baker. So I put in the yeast. Okay, and I have to put in just a half of a packet more. Okay. Okay, that seems like enough. Okay. So, it's very strong scented. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then I have to put in a tablespoon of granulated sugar. So this is what I have for a tablespoon because I don't have an actual measuring spoon, so I'll just put in that. And then I am supposed to set it just aside. I don't think I'm supposed to stir it, but I'm going to stir it a little bit just to make sure that it's all mixes together. And then it says to set it aside for about 5 minutes until it gets a bit foamy. And during this time, it is the perfect time to talk about the microbes that I'm using. So yeast cells are involved. That's the type of microorganism I'm using. So I found that as the sugars dissolve, as the sugar that I added with the yeast dissolves into the bread, not into the bread, but as it dissolves, into the bread, as the sugar dissolves, the yeast eats the bread. So basically, that's how the bread metabolizes, and the yeast excretes carbon dioxide and alcohol, which in turn makes the bread rise. So that's basically what happens in the process of the yeast. That's the yeast roll that makes the bread rise. The yeast makes the bread fluffy. That's how it gets its shape, and that's how it holds its shape. So yeah, I will be back when 5 minutes is up and that gets a little foamy to introduce the rest of the steps and make the bread. Thank you. So I'm back, and my yeast, my bowl of water is foamy. So I will show that to, oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Okay, I'll turn this around and show that to you. So it's a little foamy, which is good. So I'll continue to add ingredients inside. Okay, so the first thing, here, I think this is good. Okay, so I'll be adding half of a cup of sugar into the mixture. I'm going to also be adding oil, which I have to whisk into the yeast. And so for the oil, I'm going to be putting in also a half of a cup of it. So let me measure that out. Okay. So half of a cup of oil. And next, I need to beat in 4 eggs. Oh, I should whisk this a little bit. Really starting to look like something. Something I can definitely smell the yeast, which is, I didn't think I would be able to smell the yeast. I never made bread, so I don't really know what to expect, but this is pretty darn cool if you ask me. So just add the eggs. So 4 of them. 1. This is cooking with Jade. 2. 3. And 4. Okay. So now that I have all this in here, I'm definitely going to whisk it together. Oh, I also have to add salt. Okay, so let me do that right now. Add some salt to the mixture, which I have to add approximately 1 tablespoon. So I'll use my same tablespoon that I used. Just rinsed it off a little bit. And so we'll just shake the salt on the tablespoon. And I will just dump the salt in the mixture. Hey!
Baking?
I'm
awesome.
making a video for my class, baking. Oh yeah, it's all good. And so I'm just stirring now, and I'm gonna whisk it, and then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So I am back, and right now this is what this stuff bread looks like. But now I have to start whisking in flour. Oop. So I'm gonna start doing that, and then I'll come back to show you what it looks like when it's all like floury and stuff. So as I was mixing in the flour, I realized that I didn't have enough flour. So I had to go to Publix, which is like a half mile from down the road from me. So I went and got more flour, and I biked there, so I was quick. But when I came back, the yeast had risen. The microbes were at like classic microbes rising my dough, and so I added in the flour, and so like it's a little messy. Like I hope my RA doesn't walk in, but so I was like kneading out the bread, and here's the result so far. So like I've just been like kneading it and stuff, and I think it's looking good. The next step in the process. Hold on, I'll be back to tell you the next step. So I'm actually, okay, the next step is to grease the bowl, like put it back in and grease the bowl so that it'll be easy to take out. I have to put it in a warm place for an hour, so it says that I can heat an oven to 150 degrees and then turn it off and then place it in, and that way that's like a good environment to put it in. It says I can do that, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll do that now, and I will be back to show you the result. Oh, I just started recording, by accident. So I meant to take a picture, while I was recording because I don't know how to, like, I'm really bad with technology. I meant to take these are my oils, the essential oils that I'm making. Well, it's done, I just have to drain it, but okay. I'm sorry. I'll see you in a few. My dough is rising now. So while I'm waiting for the dough to rise the first time, one of the questions I am asked is there another country or culture that makes something similar to this? If so, give the dish the name and country. Well, I couldn't really find, like, the closest thing that I could find was, I would, like, in Pennsylvania, I was Roman Catholic, and so in church, we would have, like, the holy bread, so communion, so, every week we would get, like, wafers, so yeah, so, like, I feel like in different churches and in different cultures, they use different holy breads that, I mean, Challah does not represent, like, well, I mean, Challah does not represent, like, I don't think it represents the blood, like, the body of Christ, but, other cultures, I guess you could say, or religions use bread. Like, bread is widely used, throughout religions to represent the body of Christ, and, it's just very, like, bread, I feel, it's just a very holy thing because that's what they had back then. So yeah, that was kind of my, like, relation to that. There's about, like, 30 more minutes that my bread is going to be rising. So, I'll see you in a few. Hello again. So this is my bread that was just rising in the oven. So I need to beat it down and then put it back in for 30 more minutes. So I'll be right back. So my bread is extremely light and fluffy. Like, I'm so excited to beat this. So, like, let me just kind of, I don't know how to beat it. Like, do I keep, oh, here we go. Here we go. And I believe it just says to beat it down. See here? Punch down dough and cover. So I'm punching it. Now it's all punched and good. And then I'm going to put it in the oven for 30 minutes, and I'm going to take it out and then form it into the braids that Challah bread is known for. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, so I'm back with my Challah. It's risen for the second time. It smells so good. Like, I feel like I can just eat it now. And so I'm going to now, like, pack it together and roll it into balls so that I can braid it, and I will show you the finished product. Thank you.